welcome to SVG-TV News for Friday, April 27, 2018. I am Jennifer Richardson with the details. Risk related to theft of equipment as well as the lack of consultation on key issues with the relevant authorities were among some of the concerns raised at the launch of activities today for Fisherman's Day 2018. President of the National Fisherfolk Organization, Ocean Victory, said there are several issues of concern among local fisherfolk which are important to the industry and their livelihood. Victory said one example is the work being done in Rose Place for a new port, and that fisherfolk in the area have expressed concern that so far there has been no consultation with the authorities on the matter.
We grieve because of in Rose Place, where most of the boats in Kingston in St. Vincent and the Grenadines is located, seems to be taken away from us without proper consultation, and maybe going to put somewhere else where in the time of prey larceny our boats will be in jeopardy, and great loss to that may cause great loss to the fisherfolk at St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Victory said while the National Fisherfolk Organization is elated that several fisheries centers are now being run by locals, the government must implement proper management practices to ensure a sustainable industry.
Calfico have gained Calqua Center. Barley Fisherfolk Organization have the privilege of getting the center in Barley, and the other centers that given out to other people. Maybe not the Fisherfolk Organization, but Vincentian in the whole, and we are very delighted in that. But we grieve because Kingston, our main center, we ain't know directly what is going to happen to the fisherfolk of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And if this, we cannot put our nation fisherfolk at risk if proper planning is not being placed to take care of the fisherfolk.
Victory added that fisherfolk at the Kingston market are concerned with marketing arrangements at the facility and called on the authorities to address this concern.
But there are queries about the back part where the fishers themselves are querying that they don't know what will happen to them. Some fishers are of the view that when the bycatches landed, their catches will not fetch the price that they should in order to make ends meet, because the bycatch will be sold to the vendors at a cheaper rate. So while we are happy to be celebrating here our 43rd Fisherman's Day anniversary, we want these grievances to be addressed so that we also, the whole nation fishers, because maybe about 8,000 of us, I believe, could be truly happy about what is taking place in the industry.
Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries Sabota Caesar at today's ceremony gave the assurance of a bright future for the fisheries sector. Minister Caesar said the government continues to implement policies to the future of the sector and those who depend on it, adding that he looks forward to securing an Asian market for Vincentian lobster products.
Because I have real hope when we can now move live lobsters from Beckway, bring them up to Kingston on trucks owned by the government, operated, taken to Adal International Airport, flown to Miami. This is the hope I'm talking about, you know. And from Miami over to Asia. And within 48 hours, a little more than that, probably 50 hours, you could have a lobster from Beckway on a plate in Hong Kong. That is hope. That is a new dispensation. That is a brighter future ahead.
The Agriculture and Fisheries Minister said the ministry will also seek to organize the fisherfolk at the Kingston market into a cooperative adding that local stakeholders are pushing for the facility to become a major fish transshipment center for the region.
And the Bekwai Seafood Company has expressed a willingness to assist in ensuring that the Kingston market will become one of the major transshipment points for fish, not only in the OECS but in the whole of CARICOM. That is not something that we want to walk away from. That means that we are going to have the possibility of having not only Amerijet but other cargo planes come to St. Vincent and the Grenadines to take fish out. And I love the slogan, cleaner reef, healthy fish to eat. Not to eat only here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, but our fish must reach the rest of the world.
The minister also gave assurance that discussions involving the future of the Kingston fish market will include the Fisher Fork.
In closing, that as it pertains to the Kingston fish market, there's a lot more in the conversation to take place, and a lot more discussions will take place. And I want to assure the Fisher Folk, and I want to assure my dear brother and friend, Brother Victory, that we will not leave anyone out of this discussion. It has not been a precedent, and thus far we have been very embracive as it pertains to being inclusive in the discussion. I want to wish all of us an excellent 2018 period of celebration. As I noted, it's going to be a period where we have to reflect, we have to celebrate, and we have to prepare for the way forward. Thank you very much.
With several improvements made to the 9th cycle of the Caribbean Development Bank CDB Basic Needs Trust Fund, the BNTF, participating nations or beneficiaries can expect a more agile initiative that is set to have an even broader agenda for tackling poverty in respective countries. At a ceremony earlier this week, Vice President of Operations at the CDB, Monica Labene, said the CDB is pleased to once again partner with the government of SVG through the 9th cycle of the BNTF program to tackle poverty and poverty alleviation.
Partnership with the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines started more than 4 decades ago, and since then we have approved more than $340 million in funding for investment projects and technical assistance to the country. BNTF, the bank, has been supporting the government's efforts to improve the livelihoods of men, women, boys and girls in vulnerable communities. The program has improved access to basic infrastructure and services and provided Vincentians with skills and training they need to participate successfully in the workforce and in some cases run their own businesses. In March 2017, the Board of CDB approved the 9th cycle of the BNTF. The cycle is enhanced with a new governance structure, implementation modality, and financial arrangements. These changes respond directly to the recommendations and findings of recent evaluations and assessments.
With SVG receiving an initial amount of $2.95 million, Labene said, along with additional funding approved by the Special Development Fund, SVG and some 8 other Caribbean nations will benefit from a national BNTF projects grant totaling some $40.8 million.
The country is also eligible to receive a portion of the unallocated incentive amount of $5.2 million. And he says he's going to be first in line for that. And that is going to be distributed at the midterm based on project performance. So implementation is key on this one. The funds are to be carefully targeted through an evidence-based country policy framework or action plan, which responds directly to poverty, particularly in rural areas, through investments in community infrastructure and related services, in water and sanitation, access roads, drainage, education, and human resource development, and livelihood enhancement. The program BNTF 9 is scheduled for completion by December 31st, 2020.
Young ladies in St. Vincent and the Grenadines are being encouraged to use technology to enhance their lives and make an impact in the society. The challenge came from President of the Principals Association of Secondary Schools, Curtis Graves, as he delivered remarks at the opening ceremony of the Girls in ICT Day Caribbean Hackathon held earlier today at the Methodist Church Hall. Sponsored by the International Telecommunications Union, the ITU, and Google, over 50 female students from across SVG participated in today's event, which, according to Graves, forms part of efforts to infuse technology into the school's curriculum.
19 in St. Vincent and Grenadines, we are bringing the principals from 15 different countries across the Caribbean to meet right here in St. Vincent and Grenadines to discuss ways in which we can infuse technology in the curriculum. Use this opportunity to become more equipped, to become more excited about ICT, to remember that it's a tool that has been given to you to make you more productive, to make you be more efficient in the world, to be more efficient in your schoolwork, to be more efficient in St. Vincent and Grenadines, so that we can develop different applications, different things, so that we can make our country a better place to live.
Minister with responsibility for the youth, Frederick Stevenson, thanked our partners for joining with the government as it strives to build human capacity in a globalized digital world.
Today, you are our future leaders, and your interest and excitement in technology and ICT will fuel the seeds planted today to blossom into career paths and opportunities once considered distant for the Caribbean people. Information communication technology within the schools is a very important tool for young people as we seek to further develop and advance the skills needed to take you further and further.
In his remarks, Minister of Information, Finance and Economic Planning, Camila Gonsalves, urged the young ladies present to seriously consider a career in ICT.
A small country like ours is going to succeed in the world is because we're going to do things more and more using technology. So there's going to be a space, a big space, for people to do things with technology, and we want our smartest people working in the technology space, and everything tells us that our smartest people are our young women. So what I want you to do today is enjoy this. Don't feel intimidated by technology. You're not intimidated by it now, so don't let this hackathon intimidate you. Enjoy yourself, have a good time, embrace all of it, and understand that in the future in the Caribbean, there are going to be a lot of opportunities for bright young people in the technology space, and we want at least half of those bright young people to be women.
Economist at the Caribbean Development Bank, Ronald James, has said that compliance is the key to health and safety in the workplace and must be seen as an investment rather than a cost. James was the featured speaker at a seminar held earlier today at the NIS conference room in commemoration of World Day for Safety and Health at Work.
Them should make economic sense, especially in sectors like construction where accidents are still hitting very hard. In order for progress to be made on this front, leadership and management at all levels and the engagement of workers are key issues in changing the workplace culture, starting with compliance to occupational safety and health standards. There is increasing and compelling evidence that providing a healthy and safe working environment has the potential to increase labor productivity and in turn increase business profits. Consequently, investing in health and safety at work has to be looked at as an investment rather than a cost.
James said that a lack of proper health and safety guidelines can lead to a dissatisfaction in the workplace, as persons may feel unsafe.
Consider the socio-economic benefits of lost time prevention. The most obvious benefit is to the bottom line. Healthy employees are productive employees, and the productive employees have very positive effects on the company's bottom line. When employees start to feel that their work is unsafe or that their employers do not care about their health or well-being, loyalty to the firm diminishes and productivity may start to slip. When workers witness injuries or are asked to cover jobs while other workers are out injured, this can have negative psychosocial impacts, affecting morale and retention, and also adversely impacting productivity. Workers tend to think this is really not a safe place to work, and if I have other options, I will take it.
Meantime, Minister of Labour Sabota Caesar gave the assurance that government sees the importance of establishing and implementing policies to advance labour relations, including health and safety. Minister Caesar also appeals to businesses in the private sector to comply with initiatives that would ensure that their employees do not work in hazardous environments.
The government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines will continue to create the enabling environment and the framework, both from a jurisprudential standpoint in making sure that the laws are in place, and also from the point of view of policy and implementation. And the Department of Labour, we intend to have a very active 2018-2019 period as we seek to implement the rules and the regulations that are exposed in the occupational safety and health legislation.
Eric Kipps, director of JAREC, an organization that has been at the forefront of health and safety in this country and throughout the region, commended SVG on its efforts to establish occupational health and safety laws. Kipps says this helps to, among other things, combat wastage in the public service.
Very tragic when works bring the end of life, when people die on the job, when it contributes to the breakdown of families and the fracturing of communities. Sadly, however, we have had our fair share of those types of tragedies in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. It is a fact that on-the-job accidents don't just happen. All accidents are caused. And because all accidents are caused, all accidents can be prevented. Fortunately though, in a growing number of workplaces, workers, employers, and governments are demonstrating through cooperation and dialogue that it is possible to create safer, healthier workplaces, and at the same time to improve productivity and bottom line results.
All 315 employees of the St. Vincent Electricity Services VINLEC are expected to take a safety pledge as they enter into the company's Environmental Health and Safety Awareness Month. Observed during the month of May, the activities, according to CEO of VINLEC, Tonley Myers, is the company's way of ensuring that all employees are made aware of how they can keep themselves and others safe, as well as to remain healthy. Myers said that the safety pledge is one way of getting persons to recognize the importance of their health and safety at the workplace.
Just to be safe, I commit that I will work safely today and every day. I'm not only responsible for my safety, but also the safety of my co-workers. I have the right to stop any activity on the job that I know is unsafe without fear of retribution. My pledge to work safely is a personal commitment to myself, my co-worker, and my family. So this pledge is something that would have every employee sign to. We will have it on a large mural, and any employee or any individual turning up to the company will see a mural with 315 signatures of employees who have committed to this.
Noting that a number of training sessions will take place during the month of activities, Myers said there will also be the introduction of a new initiative to safeguard employees who work directly with electricity.
And electrical components, and it is referred to loosely as the lockout tagout system, which essentially provides a series of procedures as to how we can safeguard persons who are working around electrical equipment and how they can protect themselves in a very structured and safe manner. So this is an important initiative we'll be having during the course of the month. Many of them are ongoing activities, many of them are new activities, many of these would be refresher, because quite often persons are trained and over a period of time we all fall into moments where we have lapses. So it's our responsibility and our duty to make sure that our employees are continually aware and essentially agile with respect to issues relating to safety.
Director of the UWI Seismic Research Center, Richard Robertson, is encouraging the public to visit a volcano blow exhibition mounted outside the office of the National Emergency Management Organization, NEMO, as part of activities to commemorate Volcano Awareness Week. Robertson said the exhibition tells the experiences of those who witnessed the last 2 eruptions in a unique and innovative way.
Our intention is to use this exhibit as a focus for some of the community activities that we have in the community Volcano Ready Community Project, but also the exhibition will probably be throughout St. Vincent. So we hope to see it at places like the Public Library in Kingston as well as in the communities, and I would encourage people to go and see it. It really is a good display of what has happened, and it's actually designed such that the orientation of the exhibition itself tells you something about what the impacts were on the eastern side of the country versus the western side of the country, and also what the volcano looks like and what kinds of things it could do. And it really is it's actually using the words of people, both the poets and the Calypsonians and the community members, to retell what has happened, and also integrating some of the science and some of what we understand from people, and also from what the rock record have told us about Soufrière. It's called Soufrière Blow, and I'd encourage anybody to go and see it.
Robertson said they are hoping to move the exhibition to different areas of intellectual interest to create a greater awareness of volcanic activities.
It's having its full showing in Chateaubelair, but it's going to be in St. Vincent. It's going to be something that stays in St. Vincent, and we hope that over time it will move around the country and everybody will get a chance to see it, because it really uses the experience of people and what they have said about the eruption and what they've said about the experience in 79 and 1902, and essentially just displays it. So it helps to keep in memory and helps to keep sort of our people aware, and those who haven't experiences, of what the experience was. As it moves and as it is now, it's a static display. You know, it's just pictures and images on a piece of sort of canvas. But in time, it's going to have more interactive elements, so we're going to have added elements to it.